The stock Broadcom just reported massive earnings, and the stock is up 16% after hours. It completely blew away earnings expectations and is pushing the rest of the AI and tech sector even higher into after hours. So what does this mean moving forward for the stock Broadcom, and what's going to happen to the market the next few days with this stock moving higher right now? Let's look into it. Now, quickly taking a look at the chart, you can see that the stock was at $180 heading into after hours and then jumped all the way up to highs around $210 per share, is pulling back now. But going over earnings, this was a great earnings, and honestly we really needed it from Broadcom to kind of help the overall market. Earnings per share was $1.60 versus the analyst expectations of $1.49, and revenue was $14.92 billion versus the analyst expectations of $14.6 billion. So that's a solid 6% beat on earnings per share and a solid 2.25% beat on overall revenue. And on top of this, Broadcom sales grew at least 19.2% compounded over the last 5 years. Taking a look at this chart, this is a solid looking quarterly revenue report, and the CEO even reiterated that the company expects continued strength in AI semiconductor revenue, reaching a projected $4.4 billion in the second quarter. This was a huge announcement that he made during the earnings, and this is what's really going to push not only this stock higher, but the overall market. The AI stocks and the overall tech sector has pulled back, and this may be the key factor, at least in the short term, to kind of turn this market around and move these stocks higher to the upside over the next couple days. And really, across the board, they beat on everything and they raised expectations for the next quarter. So this was a massive earnings beat for Broadcom and is definitely helping push the stock higher into after hours. And taking a look at the stock itself, like I said, it's been honestly a pretty flat day for the stock. There was some run up in the morning, followed by just a pullback, basically where we started the day, and then traded sideways until after hours and shot up from that $180 area to above $200. Let's see if we can hold $200 because that is going to be a key price point moving forward. The stock itself is off of highs around $256 per share. So we're down quite a bit right now, and if we pull this back even further to kind of just take a look at where the stock is, it is at a beautiful position to potentially enter in right now and to buy some shares. Looking at the stock, we're hovering near this 180-day red SMA line right here, which is showing our overall direction and where the stock is headed. And in the past, you can see that anytime the stock gets close or touches this area, and we've seen it bounce multiple times anytime it gets close to this area, and that's showing a strong area of support on the overall direction of the stock. So anytime it gets close to this area, it tends to bounce or hover near this area. So it's a pretty good chance that the stock itself right now is going to hold near this area and then see a bounce here in the future, and off of that we're going to be able to run higher back above $200 and continue moving forward to potentially all-time highs and even past it. And taking a look at overall analyst price targets to kind of see where we're at, you can see we have an average price target of $243, a low end price target of $210, and higher end price targets up to $267 per share. Now this is before the new and updated price targets come out, which they most likely will come out tomorrow morning before market opens. But just taking a look at kind of what we're looking at now, it's still undervalued and is a solid AI name in my opinion. This is one of the bigger names you want to hold. You talk about Broadcom, you talk about Nvidia, you talk about the fact that those two are going head to head in this race. And right now, Broadcom to me is one of those stocks that in the long term is a solid option. It's been performing well with earnings per share and revenue for several years now, and on top of that, the stock itself has been performing even better. I mean, like we talked about, this is a solid upward trending stock that has been doing very, very well and is paying pretty solid dividends. Right now we're looking at 59 cents per share on a stock that's around $200. That's not too bad for the growth that we get from a company of this size. That is not a bad dividend return at all. Now, looking forward with the stock, what does that mean? Are we too late to buy into this one? Well, let's kind of see what happens with the overall market tomorrow, because right now the market is up heading into after hours because of the fact that the stock jumped. The stock in particular, similar with Nvidia, is on the top 10 list of the S&P 500, meaning that if these stocks move, it moves the overall S&P 500 and controls kind of where the market's going. So with this stock moving into after hours and jumping higher, the overall S&P 500 is also moving higher, which is causing the overall market tomorrow for pre-market futures to look even higher. So with that being said, as long as Broadcom can continue to move into the higher highs tomorrow and continue holding above $200, then there's a really strong chance the overall market itself continues moving higher. And I like the odds that this actually is our start of potentially a reversal in the market. Because if we take a look at the SPY right now, we're holding above a very, very crucial level, and we were bouncing around this 570 area multiple times. And we've seen this happen in the past around 570. And I want to show you guys 570. If I get rid of this drawing right here, 570 area is very, very important. If I draw it out right here, you can see this is an area that in the past we've touched before, and also it's crossing below this overall SMA line. So with us touching it multiple times here, breaking through, pulling back down, moving higher, coming back down, breaking up, pulling back down, this 570 area is very, very important to hold above. And on top of that, this red SMA line that we just broke through below today, we have to be able to get back above that. So if we can hold $570, move up to the upside, and possibly break back above 575 to 580 range, that's where we want to be, because that'll control the overall market to move higher. And you take a look at Broadcom. Right now, it's up near this $200 area and has a lot of upside to go back up to that $250 all-time high previously. Broadcom, in my opinion, is one of those names that you want to hold on to for the long term. It's a solid pick, in my opinion. If you're not in any AI stocks, which most of you probably are, but if you're not, or you're not in Broadcom yet, it's not too late. I think that anything under $220 to $230 is a solid pickup on this name. Obviously, below 200 was a great deal, getting at 180, 185 today. But will you be able to see those levels again? I'm not sure. And I think that the fact that this is bouncing so much into after hours means there's a lot of money in the market right now that is sitting on the sidelines, and people are getting anxious, and people will be jumping in to names like Nvidia and Broadcom over the next few days because of this earnings. So with that being said, definitely keep an eye on the market. We're going to watch this one tomorrow, see if it can hold above $200. If it can, I think that we see this rally back up to 210, 215, potentially even 220. If it doesn't hold above $200, then it rolls over back to the downside. We got to be able to hold 190. If we don't, we fall back close to this SMA line around that 180 to 185 range. And either way, if you're playing this off the short term, those are those critical areas you want to watch. If you're playing off the long term, buy the dip. This is a great buying opportunity if you're looking to hold for the next 2 to 3 or even 5 years. This is a great AI stock to get into for the long term at this specific price. So with that being said, guys, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below what stocks you guys want me to go over next, and I'll see you guys in the next video.